Shalom Rabotai, Erev Chag Sameach. That's Hashem tonight. It's one of the most special nights of the year. The night of Shavuot, the night we get ready for Matan Torah. We'll stay up all night, learning all night. And I want to discuss one idea about tonight, and also a couple of very important halachot, which are going to be dealing with this Shavuot in particular. And the halachot that we've been discussing, we'll say in a moment, are about how to deal with the garbage removal, which here in Thornhill, it's scheduled for Thursday. It's Yom Tov, and we're going to have to deal with the fact that garbage is muktzeh on Yom Tov. And the other issue we need to deal with is how to heat up food from the first day to this of the Yom Tov to the second day, which normally it's forbidden to heat up or cook food on Yom Tov if it's for the next day, not for the day itself. The first I want to share with you an idea just about tonight. The idea of staying up at night, an idea which many Sfarim talk about the importance of it, how it's one of the most important nights of the year to become a kli, to become a vessel that can accept the Torah properly, can be mekabel Torah every single year. The Kotzker Rabbi used to say, he used to say, Matan Torah, the giving of Torah, that was once in the generation, once in history. That was in Har Sinai. But Kabbalat Torah, the accepting of Torah, that is every single year by every single Jew. We have to accept the Torah. Says Farim, the way to get ready for Kabbalat Torah is through staying up at night. That's the segula to become the kind of person who can accept the Torah properly. One thing bothered me for a while. How come this inyan, staying up at night, if it's so important, if it's such a big deal, and Baruch Hashem, Minhag Yisrael, it has become almost everyone tries to stay up the entire night to learn all the men. If it's so important, why is it not mentioned earlier in Sefer Halacha? There's no Gemarot that talk about this. Even in the Shulchan Aruch, it's not found. This is later. The Rizal brings it down, and later Chaonim bring down this idea, and it became Minhag Yisrael. Perhaps it was Minhag Yisrael for a long time, but it's not an obligation or something which is spoken about clearly. If it's so important, why would it not be? And number two, perhaps you can ask a similar question about the entire idea of staying up. Normally, staying up at night isn't the best way to learn Torah. Normally, we advise the mi'ut shena, one of the memchet kiyanim, one of the 48 ways to acquire Torah is through minimizing how much we sleep. But says the Rambam, say all the commentators, we have to sleep mi'ut a little bit, that much we have to sleep, which means sleep 6, 7, maximum 8 hours a day. But you have to be mema'et, take away from sleep, but sleep enough that you can function well and learn properly the next day. Don't because if you can learn 20 hours half asleep, you don't accomplish what would be accomplished learning 5 hours when you're properly rested. So it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So normally staying up at night is a bad idea. The quality of the learning won't be as good as learning well rested, learning more hours. So why do we learn at night when it's seemingly we could learn more hours, learn better by resting properly and perhaps learning more during the day? So the commentators explain that what's the key to Kabbalat Torah? There's one key. Kabbalat Torah needs one thing so we can accept it, and that is Na'aseh v'nishma. That is the cheshek, showing that the desire for Torah. Staying up at night, in truth, in terms of the quality of learning, in terms of limud Torah, is not the ideal way to learn Torah by exhausting yourself to the point that you're so tired and you can barely follow, and you're keeping yourself awake by forcing yourself to stay awake with caffeine throughout the night. However, that's in terms of limud Torah, in terms of the quality of the learning. But in terms of mesirut nefesh, in terms of showing the cheshek, showing the desire you have for Torah, that's the ultimate way to do it, to show how excited you are for Kabbalat Torah, how much you want the Torah. And that's what we accomplish at night. And that's also why it can't be a commandment. It can't be a halacha. It can't be a person's obligated to stay up at night. Then it wouldn't mean anything. You wouldn't do it because you're excited, because you want to do it. It's simply because you're following what the Torah says. The halacha says you have to stay up, then you stay up. It's the opposite. It's precisely the fact we can't get told to do it is because it's about showing that we want to stay up, we want to accept the Torah, which is why it's so important during the night, if we're zochet to stay up, to use the night properly. If a person stays up, but chas shalom, he wastes the entire night. It's worse than if he went to sleep. If you staying up is about showing how much you want to learn Torah. If the opposite, you stay up and you waste the night away, it shows even on your night, there's nothing else really to do, and you still waste the time. It shows chas shalom, the opposite. They don't care for learning Torah. So we should have the zachut tonight, so Hashem, to use the night properly, to learn Torah with mesirut nefesh and accept the Torah properly. Everyone together and say a real Na'aseh v'nishma. Together, all Am Yisrael should be zochet to really accept the Torah and a full Kabbalat Torah. Now we go on the halachot about this Chag Shavuot, the two very relevant halachot which we're going to be dealing with. So maybe we'll go in order. On Wednesday, the first day of Yom Tov, there's an Yisura, as mentioned, of Hachana. You can't do anything, especially cooking, but even warming up food, for the sake of the next day. So it means if you to heat up food, let's say tonight, let's say Shkia will be at around 9 o'clock, to heat up food at 8 o'clock so you can eat your meal at 10 o'clock is absolutely forbidden. Like I said, even any kind of preparing, even warming up pre-cooked food, and certainly to cook food for the sake of the next day. So to make a meal after 10 o'clock, the only way to do it is to heat up food after Tzedek Kochavim, after I think it's 9:52, 53. After that time, it's the second day of Yom Tov, and you start heating up then, which would mean the meal will be quite late. What we're doing in Bet HaKnesset, which is the Psako of Ben Ish Chai, is to bring in the second day of Yom Tov early, which is unusual. It's still the first day of Yom Tov, until Tzedek Kochavim, until nightfall. The first day of Yom Tov does not end. But we can also start the second day within the first day. So we can pray Arvit at Plag HaMincha. We'll pray Mincha around 6:45 or so before Plag HaMincha. And Arvit, we'll pray right after Plag HaMincha when it's still daylight outside, but it's close enough to nighttime that we're to play Arvit and need to even say Kiddush at that time. At that time, let's say around you can get home around 8 o'clock or so. You can make Kiddush and you can start the meal. This time it's still really the daylight. Technically, it's still the first day, but we can do mitzvot that have to do with the kedusha of the second day already. That means you can even light candles at this point, and you can even have the kiddush and seudah. What we gain by this is first you can eat at a more normal time, and number two, you can also heat up the food because it's still within the first day. You can heat up food, or you can cook food because it's Yom Tov as long as you do it from a pre-existing flame. You can even cook food for this meal. But there's one caveat. All you can do is cook and prepare things or warm up things for food that you will eat before Shkia. So Shkia is around 9 o'clock. You have to make sure, if you normally have a long meal, to maybe cut down the salads or bring in some of the hot food earlier, that you structure the meal in such a way that by 9 o'clock you will have had of all the things that you heated up and you prepared on the first day of Yom Tov for that time. It's good. You should try to do this to lengthen the meal, and the meal should go into the night, and also some bread into the night. Also enjoy the candles during the night. It's a good thing to extend the meal and also enjoy the night. But the main halacha I want to be very careful with, and you have to look at the clock and make sure you're doing things the right way, is to only heat up things on the first day of Yom Tov before it's Shkia, before sunset, if you're going to benefit from them before sunset also. That's the first halacha regarding Hachana. We mentioned with the Knesset, it's worth remembering again and not making a mistake. The other halacha, which is for us will be 11th Thursday, will be the garbage removal on Yom Tov. Garbage on Yom Tov and Shabbat is muktzeh. Muktzeh because it has no use. It's something, muktzeh machmat gufo. It's a category of muktzeh, which is things that are useless, they're no utensils, and there's nothing to be done with them on Yom Tov. And it's one of the more strict categories of muktzeh. Typically, you can't move garbage on Shabbat. The one exception, which is a very useful exception, which you use every Shabbat, is garbage which is around in the house, in your living space, in living areas. And it bothers you. It's not nice to you have a dirty diaper or even a dirty table, things on the table that peels and things that are dirty, and you're around that area, it bothers you. It's a designation of graf shelrei. It's something unpleasant to be around. And if it's an area where you live in, you can remove it from the area and take it wherever you need to go. So let's say on Yom Tov or Shabbat, your garbage fills up to the point it's smelly, it's in the way. You don't want to have it around the kitchen and the living room area where you are over Shabbat and Yom Tov. You can pick up the garbage and take it out of your house. Obviously, not discussing questions of an eruv. You can take it out of your house, take it to the garage, take it out of your living space to remove the unpleasant odor or even the appearance of something unpleasant from where you are. That's the classic thing we do on Shabbat and Yom Tov. The question is, garbage removal takes place from garbage that's not in your house, it's in the garage, it's somewhere we don't live. It's not bothering you right now. You want to get rid of it, but right now it's not causing you to be in an unpleasant situation over Yom Tov, and lechora it's muktzeh, you can't remove it. Aside from how most people have garages with electric doors, which you also can't open on Yom Tov. But we'll deal with the question of muktzeh for now. So the best thing to do, how to get the garbage out of the house, is to get out of the problem, which is obviously take it out of the house on Tuesday, tonight before sunset. Get out of the house. Now, some places maybe if the government might not allow this. Some places you risk a fine by doing this. So, obviously only do this in a way if it's legal and you won't end up getting in trouble for it. That's the easy way to get out of the problem. If that can't be done, on Yom Tov, there's perhaps two etzot that we can use to get out of the issue. Number one would be, well, first thing, just to get the problem taking the garbage out of the garage, to take it out of your garage door and leave it right outside, still on your driveway, would be ideal. And then on Yom Tov, you can ask a non-Jew to move it for you. The truth is, on Yom Tov, you can ask a non-Jew in any case to move it for you. But it'll be easier probably to get someone to might help you if it's outside and easy for him to do it. So if to ask a non-Jew to do it, it's a shvut, the shvut that's assumed to be a fairly high level of need to clear your garbage, especially producing a lot of garbage over Yom Tov, and you could ask a non-Jew to help you move the garbage on to the curb for pickup on Wednesday or Thursday, so it's out of your house. That would be one way to do it. The other way to do it, if you haven't got a non-Jew who could help you, would be to, once the garbage is outside, perhaps to push it with your foot. That's moving it in an unusual way. And if you can push it with your foot and get it towards the curb by pushing it, that's also a better way than moving it directly. Now, moving it directly, it's complicated to imitate. But I heard a psak from Shaw Miller that if there's no other way to get it out of your house and all you're doing is moving the garbage is already in a garbage can. If a person needs to do it, he has what to rely on, and is even allowed to move the garbage itself, like in the garbage can, which contains the garbage within it, on Yom Tov towards the curb to get rid of it. It's the wrong opinion of the Rashba in the beginning of Masechet Petzah. Not something we normally rely on, but in this context, this case, that's enough to rely on it in the case of need. So ideally, we get out of the problem by circumventing it before Yom Tov. If that can be done on Yom Tov, the best solutions would be to use either a non-Jew to help you or to push it with your foot. If that was unavailable, a person could rely on even moving the garbage can directly to the curb on Yom Tov. And Hashem should have a Yom Tov Chag Sameach.